Okay, so I'm sure anyone that has ever owned or come into contact with a cat has felt that sandpaper roughness of a cat's tongue and wondered, why does it feel like that? Why is it so different? Well, your cat's tongue is way more than just a licking tool. It's a built-in comb, it's a sponge, it's an indicator of their health, and it's even a prey cleaning tool. From house cats all the way to lions, this organ is an absolute marvel of evolution. Let's uncover all of its secrets together. Hello everyone, and welcome to Zoomies. I think the best place to start is the anatomy. So for those that don't know, your tongue is actually classified medically as an organ. And in the case of cats, it's actually a fascinating one. The rough texture comes from these 100 sharp little protrusions that are facing backwards that are known as papillae. We actually used to think that these were more of a cone shape, but recently we actually discovered that they're more of a hollow, scooped shape. Now, these barbs are actually made up of keratin, the same stuff that their claws are made up of, or even your hair. And it's actually because of this construction that they are multitasking masterpieces. They help cats to groom themselves really effectively. It aids them in eating. It even helps with hydrating their skin. But here's another really cool fact. If your cat has ever swallowed something odd, like a piece of string or a piece of cardboard, it might not actually have been intentional. The fact is that these backwards-facing spines naturally direct objects to the back of their mouth, which makes it really hard for cats to spit things or gag things out. And you can trust me as a vet when I say seeing cats with strange objects in the back of their throats is really not uncommon. So the consensus within the scientific community is that cats are obligate carnivores, which means that they're designed to eat meat, or at the very least have a very meat-dense diet. And these barbed designs of their tongues evolved to scrape off every last piece of meat from the bone, which was essential for their wild ancestors and are even used in their current relatives like lions and cheetahs. In fact, research actually shows that these papillae on lion tongues are the same height and shape as those found in household cats, even though they do actually differ dramatically in size. It's actually no wonder why people are naming their cats Mufasa and Tiger. So what else actually makes cat tongues special? Well, for one, it makes them grooming champions. Cats spend nearly half of their waking hours grooming, and their tongues are perfectly designed for this job. The barbs work like little built-in combs that helps with detangling fur, removing loose hair, lifting dirt from the hair, and even helping small pieces of dry skin. But it's not just that action of licking, they also wicked with saliva, which helps them clean their fur and actually regulate their body temperature. I'm sure everyone has wondered why cats always seem so clean and their coats are so shiny and lush. Well, that's because their grooming regimes also redistribute their natural oils from their skin across their entire coat, giving it that shiny appearance and making them actually more water resistant. Plus, it also stimulates circulation and helps promote overall skin health. This one organ is such a major part of their daily lives that if they actually didn't have this one feature, their entire appearance and evolution would have been different. The second thing is it actually helps them with drinking. You know, when it comes to drinking, we know that cats generally do not get enough water into their diet. But when they do drink, they have a very unique way or a technique. They essentially flick their tongue into the water at lightning speeds, which creates a column of water that they then basically bite down onto. And the flexibility of their tongues even allows them to curl their tongues backwards, making it a bit more efficient. Now, when it comes to taste, cats have taste buds, but they experience flavors slightly differently than we do. They can taste salty, bitter, and sour, but scientists are still debating whether or not they can actually detect sweetness. So if your cat isn't really impressed with your sugary snacks, that's probably why. But I want you to take a guess. If I tell you that humans have approximately 5,000 to 7,000 taste buds on average, how many do you think cats have? Only 480. That's 10% of what we have. So now you know your cat really isn't too bothered about the taste or flavor of their food. Cats' tongues are also actually a really indicator of their overall health. As a vet, we want the tongue to have a nice pink color while also being moist with no excessive saliva production. But if you do notice, discoloration, swelling, white patches, open sores, or if your cat is drooling really excessively, it could indicate an underlying health issue like gingivitis, oral ulcers, or even severe things like kidney disease, which are all really, really common in household cats. If you also notice that your cat's tongue seems to hang out frequently, it could just be a sign that they're relaxed, or it might be due to dental problems, trauma, or even breathing difficulties. So if you're unsure, rather discuss it with your vet. You're gonna love this one. Not a lot of people have seen this, but cats can do this thing where they stick out their tongue and they curl their lip up and sniff at you like they're absolutely judging you. It's actually called the Flehmen response, and it's way more obvious in horses. And if you've seen this, well, it's kind of a compliment. Both cats and horses in these situations are using a special organ called the vemeronasal organ, which analyzes interesting scents, which then obviously allows them to interpret their surroundings better. Of course, their tongues are also built for survival. In the wild, a cat's tongue isn't just for eating and grooming, it also helps them to carry prey or even to carry their young around. Those backward-facing barbs act like Velcro straps, giving cats a secure grip on whatever they're holding, including the neck of their young. But at least this doesn't seem to be painful in the slightest for the kittens, and it actually makes the parents' job about moving around with their kittens way easier. Okay, so overall, how do cat tongues compare to those of dogs and humans? Well, here's a summary. Cat tongues are rough, barbed, and specialized for grooming, drinking, and scraping meat off bones. Dog tongues are smooth and slobbery, which is great for licking faces and slurping water, whereas human tongues are also smooth and loaded with taste buds and designed for speech and savoring complex flavors. It's important to know that each species' tongue is tailored for their specific needs, but cats' tongues are arguably the most versatile and built for survival instead of leisure. If you're interested in more cat or other pet-related topics, remember to hit that subscribe button for more amazing, awesome pet tips. You can also be part of the best community on YouTube when it comes to pets. Comment down below if you think I should do a video on maybe why do cats always seem to land on their feet and how exactly does it work? And until next time, cheers.